So anyway, what I was going to say is it was very unfortunate, but he went on the Colin Cowherd show, and he was saying that he basically thinks the NFL is going to try to do their own conference just like his next year, and kind of put like this conspiracy theory out there. So we'll see.
It's a bold statement. He's completely right.
It was
sure.
bold. Yeah.
It was
I
bold.
mean, I was surprised that he came out like that against the NFL. But anyway, we were possibly going to go. We're very sad, and best luck to next year. But Tony Romo, on that hand, is so. I'm going to say he's someone you have to draft, but then I'm going to say you don't have to draft him, and let me tell you why. I like him if he's going late. I do not like him as the 8th quarterback off the board. I feel like he's 35. I want Dez Bryant to just sign this darn contract already. I want the Cowboys to come up with something respectable for him, and then I want them to practice all together. I don't like that DeMarco Murray's not there anymore, and that's basically my whole write-up on Dallas is that I don't like that DeMarco Murray's not there anymore, because I know they have a great offensive line, and I'm not saying anything bad about the offensive line, but I am telling you undoubtedly that Joseph Randle and Darren McFadden are not DeMarco Murray.
No, not even combined are they DeMarco Murray.
I can't even go there. So what I was going to say is that, listen, his yards went down last year. In 2012, it was 4,900 yards. 2013, 3,828. And then it was 3,105 in 2014, mostly because he could lean on the run, right?
Right.
But his touchdowns went up, so that was great. He had 34 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Why? Because they could lean on the run. So it's one of those things where I'm not quite sure what's going to happen to his numbers, and he is 35. No one talks about him being old. They talk about Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Drew Brees
they're
about to die.
They're all old now. I think the age just means nothing in quarterbacks' lives anymore. I think that they're going to live forever.
I'm not worried about him being 35. I actually think he's kind of into his prime. I think he's finally over some of his weird, jittery, messing things up in December, messing things up in playoffs, or never getting to the playoffs. I feel like he's kind of in a place of acceptance.
Yeah, I feel like if the running game is good enough that the defense at least has to spend a little bit of energy on them, then I think Tony Romo's numbers are going to go up because he doesn't have Murray to just hand the ball off to.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to throw the ball, but he's not. But they have to be able to make the run effective enough to give the defense something else to do than just Dez Bryant. So
exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm just not confident with Darren McFadden and Joseph Randle filling that role.
Yeah, they just have to be good enough. They don't have to be good. They have to be just good enough.
Well, and that's what everyone's depending on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what the Cowboys are going to depend on, and I think that's interesting. I'm not sold yet. I need a preseason to feel comfortable on the Dallas Cowboys the way I was comfortable with them last year, where I was
and I need to see a happy Dez too. An unhappy Dez with a very subpar running back committee does not make me happy.
No.
I think they'll get the deal done with Dez. I think
they better get the deal done with Dez. He's the only player left on their team.
It's
under the age of 30. I mean,
rumor has it they're waiting for the Broncos to get the Demaryius Thomas deal done to kind of gauge what they want to do with Dez.
Demaryius is going to play regardless. He doesn't care. He wants to play. So I don't think, Dez. I think Dez needs to get done because Dez has a very short fuse. We've seen him on the sidelines. Not the case of Demaryius.
It's passion.
It's passion. It's leadership is what it is.
And I like his passion. At least his passion's entertaining.
Love it.
The Cowboys love it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. And all I'm going to say about Dez Bryant, he's going third wide receiver off the board, 10th overall, and this is my analysis from here until the beginning of the season. He's a freak of nature. For the last 3 seasons, he's had 1,000-plus yards and double-digit touchdowns. So there you go. Nothing else to say.
Pay the guy.
Get the deal done.
Get the deal done.
Get it done.
No one's talking about Jason Witten. I kind of like that because right now you can almost get him for free. He and Vernon Davis are kind of my as my backup tight end or like some guy I can just grab it literally as the last pick of the draft. And I'm literally going to put this out here. Would you go for one of these guys as one of your last picks and just like wait in tight end? Or maybe both of them?
I like Witten, especially because the running back game is
bad.
Subpar.
Yeah.
That's an option that they're going to have to do to shorten the field, to draw the defense in, to open up the receivers. They're going to have to definitely use more of a focus on Jason Witten to shore up that line, right? So I actually think Witten could be a good pick this year.
I mean, he only had 703 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. But the year before that, he had 851 and 8 touchdowns. The year before that, he had over 1,000 yards but only 3 touchdowns. So if he goes in the middle of all of that, he's still one of the top 10 guys.
Totally. And again, different team, no DeMarco Murray. They're going to have to get the ball out of Romo's hands.
Quickly.
I mean, it's tight ends. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with Witten, but I would definitely tell you to draft him at a reasonable time.
Right. And this could be the first year you can get him at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. So also on that, Terrence Williams, he hurt his elbow in camp, so he's kind of slipping in ADP right now. So if you're drafting now or like early, you might be able to get a deal on him. So do that, because this is his 3rd year. That's when a lot of wide receivers break out. They're looking for a new contract. Listen, his yards did go down last year, but once again, they had DeMarco Murray. They don't have this again. I mean, are you getting my drift here? This is the team. And also, I don't know why I get so many Cole Beasley questions on Twitter. I think he's the new Bishop Sankey. Can someone explain to me why I need to talk about Cole Beasley?
It's because he had like a moment of brilliance.
Yeah.
Or targets, even, I would say. And everyone was like, oh, no, it's Beasley. And then it never followed up with it. I mean, and just nothing else happened with it. I think Terrence Williams is my guy if I had to choose one. I'm not the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff, unfortunately, because I think he is the most unused, talented receiver in the NFC.
I agree.
It's just crazy to me.
Also, so Cole Beasley got paid. He's getting paid $13.6 million for being Cole Beasley. That's what he signed in the offseason. And here's the deal. He played all 16 games last year, but he only got 420 yards and 4 touchdowns. I'm just putting that out there. Why? I don't know. I mean, yes, late in your draft, if you're in a weird league where you go on and on and on and on. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, Twitter, what is going on with Cole Beasley?
It's because 4 touchdowns puts him kind of in the middle of the pack in terms of wide receivers of average touchdowns, which makes him interesting. But it makes him incredibly uninteresting that he only had 420 yards. This means he does not get targeted much. It means this is a guy it's a lucky target in the end zone. You cannot count on guys like Cole Beasley in your fantasy lineups.
I just feel like they're going to have a hard enough time throwing the ball anyway because of their run game, and I'm just not feeling this.
Right. Well,
I'm feeling it low. You want to draft it super low, or you want to look at him as a possible pickup right away because maybe you didn't like your team? Okay. You're not starting him. He's not a starter on your team.
No, he's
don't tell Twitter.
I will tell Twitter. I will tell them.
New York Giants.
Oh my.
It's like the only thing people are talking about. Gosh, it is at the slow time of the NFL. Jason Pierre-Paul had a little too much fun this 4th of July as he blew off half his hand. He got a finger amputated the other day, and he will not see the Giants trainers. So, oops.
Well, it's really interesting because he's kind of has the power right now. You know, because they franchise tagged him, and then he never signed the paperwork for the franchise tag, and he wouldn't agree to the long-term deal that he did. So either they take the franchise tag off and lose him for no value, or they literally have to wait until he decides he wants to sign that franchise tag.
He doesn't. He's missing a finger.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Totally fine.
They actually think he'll be done in 2 weeks. And actually amputating it supposedly might actually make it heal faster.
Oh, really?
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I was looking at it, I was like, it all sounds gross.
He's gonna have a different kind of touch he's got to get used to, but I mean, he'll be fine.
Listen, I love 4th of July. I think,
I hate 4th
it's wonderful to celebrate our independence and the birthday, whatever, but fireworks are so not my thing. Like, I'm sorry.
Me too.
You will not see me at somebody's house lighting off fireworks. You will not see it. I'm sorry. People lose fingers. They lose eyeballs. Just watch this awful video on Facebook where it was like all of these men doing this dumbest things with fireworks, like sticking it in their bottom or up their nose, or like I just like crazy stuff. I'm like, are you? Yes, you are. You know, and I don't know. I'm not saying that Jason Pierre-Paul was doing something stupid. It might just have been in a freak accident. I don't know. But fireworks are dangerous.
They are.
Well, and then C.J. Wilson from Tampa Bay did the same thing.
Yep, same thing. Had his finger amputated as well.
You have enough money to go to a show. Go to a show.
Go to a show.
Stop it.
2016. Go to a show.
Go to a baseball game. Watch it there. Come on. Must dress for the Giants. We've only got one, guys. It's the Giants. It's a sharing team. We share on this team. It's very nice. But who will take in the majority of the love is Mr. ODB.
ODB.
Yes. We love Odell Beckham Jr. He's awesome. A lot of people were taking him really high in the draft we're in right now. He's going roughly 9th overall. I love him wherever. He's the man. This is going to be his sophomore year. It's going to be great. Second year in the offense for all these guys. It's going to be hopefully a smoother process. Victor Cruz is back, so hopefully that'll even open him up even a little bit more. We got Shane Vereen in the mix with them. So that's going to open up the passing game. I love Shane Vereen in PPR, you guys. It's a sneaky pick. He's kind of going really low. So for PPR, I think it's great. I think Eli's going to be a lot better. I'm not mad about Eli. Drafting Eli is late. I think he's going in the 9th round. So if you want to stack up on people and you want to get a quarterback really late, I think Eli is right there on the cuff to being your backup quarterback. That's great. So either way, I like both of them. Victor Cruz is kind of going to be a high-risk, high-reward kind of guy. He could have huge numbers like he's had before. He is coming off a huge injury, so we don't know how he's going to be. Most likely he's not going to be Victor Cruz that we have known as fast as he is, be able to cut really fast. But who knows? He might pull out an AP, come back off of an injury, and just, like, tear stuff up and be, like, the duo, like Green Bay Packers, you know?
I thought you were going to say, like, Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin, Nelson and Cobb, you know, those guys.
Or Nelson and Cobb.
Nelson and Cobb. So he's going in the 10th round. I think that's fantastic value for a Victor Cruz. So I love that. And again, he may be a bust, but I think it's totally worth the investment, in my opinion. Again, Shane Vereen is going much higher in PPR leagues. So if you're in a PPR league, definitely stab Shane Vereen up. He's kind of going really high in like the 6th, 7th round. So that's what it is. And don't draft Larry Donnell. He was a thing at the beginning of 2014. We had a lot of hopes and dreams.
Dreams were shattered.
All went away. Yeah, it was like shattered, swept up, thrown away, went down way far to the dump. It's gone. It's gone, you guys.
I didn't even know tight ends could fumble that much.
Oh, they have a Fantasy Pros, and as we said, we're going to do our rankings here coming up next week. The Fantasy Pros has him the 22nd tight end. I didn't even know there were 22 tight ends in the league. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Then I started looking at his stats. I was like, yes, it's all making sense. It's all coming back to me now. We haven't seen it in a podcast in a few, you guys.
That's true. I was going to say, I'm really glad to see that your hatred for Larry Darnell is carrying over to this season. That's good.
Yeah. That's solid. I love the Giants.
You know what's really sad, you guys? I met Jason Pierre-Paul. He's one of the only NFL players that I got to meet, and he was so nice. He's beautiful, huge. He walks into the room and he's really like nice. Like I really liked him. I'm just so bummed. Fireworks, guys.
Dumb.
Fireworks.
Dumb.
Go to a show. Go to a show.
All right, we're going to finish up the show with the NFC West. It's going to be exciting. Seattle Seahawks. Let's start with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
Where to start? I feel like my entire write-up for the Seahawks is just in the news section.
That's fine.
It's ridiculous. So it's really a tough call for me between the fact that Russell Wilson has stated that he's not having sex with his girlfriend of 2 months, Sierra, a.k.a. referred to as dating Jesus way, and that they are going to try to not have sex until marriage. Literally, that's what he calls it, dating Jesus way.
I love that.
Or,
okay.
Yeah,
that's
legit. That's legit.
That's real.
I thought Jesus, I thought that a lot of Christians didn't think Jesus had a wife or dated.
Jesus way. The Jesus way is to not have sex before marriage.
Right. Well, he didn't even get married, right? I don't know. We're now getting into theology, and I'm not going to go down there.
Don't even start.
Yeah, I'd love to see this Tebow-Wilson battle over what's the way.
Dirty.
He said that God told him to lead Sierra.
Oh, yes.
To leave her?
To lead. He needs to lead her.
To Jesus?
I think in general.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But is that the more entertaining piece of Seahawk news, or is it Marshawn Lynch's biopic movie Family First, the Marshawn Lynch story, which was supposed to cover his rise from his start on the streets of Oakland to the big show in the NFL, and yet his family friend, who was the director, Mario Bobino,
great name,
some guy named Mario Bobino on the streets of Oakland, first of all, but
with Marshawn Lynch.
With Marshawn Lynch. Hey, I'm Marshawn, and I'm Mario. Anyway,
yeah.
He was the director, and he basically released an unauthorized trailer on his YouTube channel, which was hardcore panned. Lynch is embarrassed. He is mad. The project has been stopped. It's bad news, and basically that friendship is over. So I can't decide which one's the more entertaining news.
Eminem.
There's the real news about Russell Wilson's actual contract, which actually pertains to football.
Yeah, please.
So there's that. But even with that, the drama keeps on coming, ladies. So with contract negotiations, they have taken many different turns at this point, right? So he has his early tweets, sub-tweets, all that kind of good stuff. He's got these deep sighs and comments that I've moved before. He has made a bunch of passive-aggressive threats to play baseball, which is actually being fueled by his manager, who really only reps baseball players. Wilson's his only NFL player, so he's kind of running this whole contract negotiation like you would in the MLB, which is not exactly how they're run in the NFL. He's also made some, seemingly nice comments that he'd be happy to play for the Seahawks for $1.5 million or $25 million, which just so happens to be very close to the number that he's countered with during his negotiations. It's the whole thing is crazy. Seahawks, pay the man. Just pay the man. He's taking you to 2 back-to-back Super Bowls. And then there's craziness of people.
It's out of control.
Well, then people are trying to say, and I will not buy into this, and everyone knows my feeling on the Seahawks. Anyone's listened to this podcast for even like half a year knows my feeling on them, and Russell Wilson in particular. But they're trying to sit there and say that the Seahawks have a whole strategy that you don't need to pay your quarterback. That what they'll do is they'll just do these low-end quarterbacks, wait for them to get out of their rookie year, and then get another rookie quarterback they can pay crazy low. And I'm like, there is no way a Super Bowl caliber team has a game plan of not paying arguably the most important position on the field. It's
so
crazy.
My name's Brandon, and I'm a Broncos fan. Hello, Russell.
Seriously.
Come retire with us. I know it's only your third season in the NFL, but come die with us. This is where the great quarterbacks come.
Hey,
right?
Come here. I have something to tell you.
It's crazy. But I am going to finish up with it's so funny, and I should have tied it in with the Sierra news, but I thought I should throw at least some actual Seahawk fantasy-relevant news, but I have to pinpoint the humor. And I only mention this because Martellus Bennett did not say it in a mean tone at all, that he was poking fun at Wilson for claiming to have someone other than Darrell Bevell in his helmet radio during the Super Bowl after Wilson said God talked to him during the Super Bowl. This came out in an interview that was part of the whole reference to Wilson and finding Christ and dating the Jesus way. That Martellus Bennett, these are quotes. I wonder how loud God has to yell for Russell to hear him /her at the moment in the Super Bowl. Yo, Russell, it's me, God. Can you hear me? Hey, Jesus, is this thing on? Come help your pops out. Jesus. Seriously, Jesus, get over here and turn this thing on for me.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing.
So God is an old fart who doesn't understand technology.
Hey, I can't figure this thing out.
Jesus, help me out.
Jesus, turn it on. Turn it on.
That is brilliant on so many different levels.
Makes me want to drop Bennett even higher. So
yes,
funny.
Go
so
Bennett.
funny. And it wasn't in a mean way. And
No.
Wilson knows it wasn't a mean way. There's no animosity between them. He laughed about it. Like it's. I mean, how can you not when you've got your saying Jesus and figure out how to turn a mic on? So funny.
I love that it's a technology joke.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Jesus, seriously, Jesus, get over here and turn this thing on for me.
I love that. Wow.
I love it. Anyway, your must drafts are obviously Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch. These are no-brainers. Jimmy Graham as well. I'm not sure he's going to get the same production that he did in terms of the Jimmy Graham that we've thought of, but he's still, your second best tight end or third best. Arguably, I would say Greg Olsen over Jimmy Graham, but he's at least at 2-3 range, so you got to draft him. He's a must draft. But my sleepers are Luke Wilson. He's a backup tight end to Jimmy Graham, but Wilson was really comfortable. Russell Wilson was really comfortable with Luke Wilson.
Right.
The Wilsons. Yep, the Wilsons. And I can see them very easily running some two tight end sets, and then Wilson would actually get open because they're going to double cover Jimmy Graham. So I like that if you're looking at kind of a second tight end situation. I like Luke Wilson. I also like Paul Richardson. So Richardson didn't play a whole lot last year. He got hurt, but he showed immense promise, and he's quick, and I like him breaking open down the sideline with Graham clogging up the middle this year. So I think Richardson's got some potential, because otherwise I generally tell you not to really kind of steer clear of the Seahawks receivers, but there's some potential there. There's potential for like a sleeper. We're talking legit sleeper, not like your third wide receiver that you pick up.
Right. Roddy White is a sleeper.
Right, sleeper. No, I'm talking like a real sleeper.
When I hear the word potential, I get flashbacks of Cordero Patterson zeroing out, and it's like, oh,
it'll get
you. Huge bust to the face, yeah. All right, San Francisco 49ers, our favorite team.
All right, so I'm going a little bit back and forth in my brain about this. So Carlos Hyde. Luckily, everyone feels the same way that I do, so he's dropping in drafts. So before, when he was going really high, I thought, yeah, I don't think so. But now he's going between like 17 to like 30 even, which is crazy for running backs. He has pretty much been declared the starter. Yes, he's competing with so this is the situation. Carlos Hyde's the main guy. And last year he was a rookie. He was behind Frank Gore, and they weren't even running Frank Gore, so why would they run Carlos Hyde? It was the weirdest game plans in history. But he cut weight. He came in, and he looks really good this offseason, so I'm pretty confident that he's the guy. They did also bring in Reggie Bush, which is fine, actually, because he's a completely different back. And, yes, he'll maybe take some touches, but I don't – you guys, Reggie Bush has been hurt a lot. He just hasn't been a thing for a while, so – I'm not that worried about it. And then they drafted a rookie in the 4th round this year, Mike Davis. He's good, but I still don't think that's going to be a thing. Or Kendall Hunter, who's back from injuries. So I think those are hype trains that you can get off. I think you can get off the Mike Davis and Kendall Hunter train. Just kind of, oops, here's my stop, sorry, and then leave. So I think you can get Reggie Bush late and get him as your handcuff, but I don't think you'll need him. I think it's going to be Carlos Hyde. I think he's come back pretty strong, and they need him. Torrey Smith. I
don't hate Reggie Bush because that team severely needs some veteran leadership.
I would like Reggie Bush a lot if Colin Kaepernick was better at the short pass.
It's true.
He's awful at the dump, and that is Reggie Bush's specialty, but he will be a change of pace back, certainly.
And Colin Kaepernick, though, in my draft sleepers, wow, how the mighty have fallen.
fallen.
Holy,
really nice this year.
He is going off the board as like the 20th quarterback.
Wow.
In like the 14th round.
Let me ask you this. Would you take RG3 or Colin Kaepernick?
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
I would too.
Although it's crazy because I feel
doesn't have
like RG3 has more people around him.
Yeah.
But it's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, at least Colin Kaepernick stays alive through the whole season. I mean, he's barely breathing, but he's alive.
If Kaepernick can get the run game back, because he didn't really rush all that much last year.
No, that's what I was going to say.
Quarterbacks.
But they want to protect their quarterback. But to be fair, his yards went up last year. His passing percentage went up or his completion percentage went up last year, and his touchdowns. The guy is going up, but he also went up on interceptions and fumbles. Mm-hmm. So that's what killed him.
Yep.
But supposedly he's been working with Dennis Guile, quarterback guru, in the off season. He's working on his mechanics. Supposedly it's getting better. I don't think he's as bad as people are acting like he is now. And you know me, I was the one who told everyone last year not to draft him when he was going in the top 10. I was like, that's crazy. And I was right. That was crazy. But it's also crazy that now he's one of the like bottom guys in the league. I'm not quite sure that's
the Larry
accurate.
Donnell of quarterbacks.
But if you sit there and think about it, like I would take Andy Dalton over Colin Kaepernick. I'd take Flacco over Kaepernick. I would take Cutler over Kaepernick. I would take Teddy Bridgewater over Kaepernick. You know, there's a lot of people you would take over him.
I wouldn't take Dalton or Cutler over Kaepernick.
I would.
I'll tell you what, I don't think Cutler's going to be the quarterback of the Chicago Bears for the whole season. At a certain point, they have to cut bait. It's out of control. And then Andy Dalton, it doesn't even matter if he's playing or not. He just does. It's unbelievable.
He has a lot of interceptions. But what I do like about Kaepernick's interceptions is that his interceptions went up. What I'm hoping is that they were giving him a year to like air the ball out.
Air it out, work the kinks
out. And like work out some of his kinks. And in fantasy, that's awful, especially if you play for a team that takes away 2 points for an interception. But moving on, 2015 is going to be a lot different than 2014, and hopefully those numbers get decreased immensely because he's like figured it out, right? That's what we're all hoping for.
Out, or they're going to move on.
He has to figure it out.
Well, and Kaepernick does have his head on his shoulders. I will say this. So last year was a humbling year.
Yeah.
So I mean, clearly, as he went out and the team, they got him one of the best quarterback coaches they could. So. And he seems to be the kind of guy that's receptive to constructive criticism, to different skill sets, different things they want you to do. So I am more optimistic for him this year than I was last year, certainly, because of that.
I agree. Also in sleepers, Anquan Bolden will never get the respect he deserves.
Never, so they should.
You should look for him late. Vernon Davis, as I said, he's free. You can take him as your last pick. I don't think it's bad. Listen, he was terrible last year. He looks great at camp, though, this year. And, yes, he was terrible. 245 yards, 2 touchdowns last year. Terrible. But in 2009 through 2013, he had at least 41 catches in every year. And he only had one season under 792 yards.
Yeah.
Put it out there. And if you're in a super, super deep league, you know my love for Bruce Ellington last year. Jim Harbaugh doesn't play rookies, so he didn't get a lot of play time, but he's fast. He's like just kind of and he's a like fun wide receiver. If you're in like a best ball league or a really, really deep league, Bruce Ellington is my guy.
Bruce Ellington, I like it.
Digging deep.
Digging deep on the sleepers. We don't do Roddy White as a sleeper on this show.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No. Not at all. Arizona Cardinals. Well, it's kind of that team that's like right in between.
They're on the cusp, right? They're on the cusp of having it together.
Right. They're the perfect like running back 2-3, wide receiver 2-3-4, quarterback 1-2. I love Carson Palmer. He was another one when he got hurt last year. We were actually in New York at DirecTV's Fantasy Zone, and when he went down, it was like,
terrible.
It was bad, and it's really sad because he just signed the contract the day before, and like all this crazy stuff. But he is legit, and we forget about it for his age and whatnot. But he's good, and he's going relatively late. So. I love Palmer. Yeah, he's like going in the 15th, 16th round. So, I'm totally okay with it. On that note, Larry Fitzgerald, he's going in like the 10th round, and when he had Carson Palmer, he was good.
Yep.
So
I'm snatching him in every league.
Snatch him up, you guys, because he's going late, and he's going to see a lot of touches. I think he's going to really open it up. He is not done yet with him and Palmer. It's going to be great. I'm hoping Floyd sees that little bit of love, too.
Yeah.
Floyd it's like a make or break year. This is it. This is his moment.
Yeah.
He's actually going higher than Fitzgerald in a lot of leagues because of that, potential.
Well, because Larry's considered as old.
Well, yeah. I just feel like the NFL is getting really old. Maybe it's because I'm getting old. I'm like, oh. But yeah, so I'm okay with Michael Floyd. Do not reach for him. If you snag him up at the end, hopefully it goes past even the 9th round. That would be nice. I know I got him, I want to say I got him pretty late. And then Andre Ellington.
I got him in the 9th round.
Did you get him in the 9th round? I can't remember when I got him, but I want to say it was relatively late. But also, Andre Ellington, again, right there. High risk, high reward. He's going to be splitting the ball a lot with the rookie running back, David Johnson, which is kind of a sneak sleeper. I'm not totally upset about that. So, Ellington, I was really high on him last year. I'm not as high on him this year. He's still worth the draft pick if you can get him in the 5th, 6th round. St. Louis Rams.
The Rams. So it's interesting. There's been a lot of different strategies that's been going on this offseason, which I'm into. So the Rams are looking to sign a long-term deal with Nick Foles. And this is really interesting as they have not even seen him play yet.
I know, it's so good.
Here's the logic that people, the logic behind it, right, is that if they sign him now, so Foles is essentially coming off 2 partial seasons, right? Both of the times he was partial, he was good, right? So I can see why there is this, this sense of confidence in him. But the real logic is we can get him cheap. Because if they sign him now when he's had 2 partial seasons and he's kind of to some extent been a throwaway for a lot of teams and a lot of people, they can sign him cheap to a long-term deal where the guarantees are kind of built in. He won't have crazy bonuses and whatnot, and they can save a lot of money. Whereas if they sign him later and he's got a great season, then they're going to have, a Russell Wilson kind of situation on his hands where he wants a big contract, and so they're thinking about doing the long-term deal now. It's very interesting, as they have not even seen him play. Moving on. We're continuing to keep an eye on Todd Gurley's progress as he thinks he's going to be able to start the season, but he has not been cleared yet by doctors. So this is one that you're going to watch very, very closely.
Well, I think I'm a princess.
Yeah.
We all are princesses, Brandon. So that's true.
But hello.
But I like Todd Gurley. And it's possible that I like him because I drafted him. It's very possible. But more importantly, the Rams made a big statement that they are dedicated to not only protecting their quarterback but opening holes this year, as they drafted 4 offensive linemen in the draft.
Yeah, they did.
4. They are making it a priority. They've got a great defense. So the defense is a team that you can always draft the Rams defense, but they're shoring up their offensive line, and they needed to big time. So more than likely he will not be fully ready by the time the season starts, even though he thinks that he will. Be prepared that he won't be. But I'm also not that worried about a timeshare because they picked him up 10th overall, and running backs in general the last few drafts have not gone super high, or if at all, in the draft, and they took him 10th overall, and they're investing a lot on a guy coming off an injury. He is their guy. They're not going to go to all this effort and have this high of a draft pick to run a committee. Yes, Trey Mason will probably get the start initially while he's figuring the whole rehab out, but Gurley will be the guy. And then Nick Foles, he's been going fairly low as well, and yes, he's on the Rams. I get this is your argument. I understand that. But don't freak out too much. While he had half of the season last year, he was still able to throw for over 2,000 yards and happened to have over 270 averaging per game. And if you look back at the season prior to that, he had almost 3,000 yards in only 13 games and 27 touchdowns with only 2 interceptions. The fact he only had 2 interceptions, this tells you that he is incredibly accurate. That is so huge. This guy has got the potential to do extremely well. And what I really like is that they're taking him into a system where their wide receivers, those are all, sideline wideouts, deep ball threats, and that is where Foles excels. He excels, with that deep ball. So
that was a lot of S's.
That was, I know. I got sloppy.
Foles excels.
Sloppy.
Sloppy.
I was like, wow.
But I do. I really like the fact that these are wideouts. These are deep ball threats, and that's perfect for Foles. Which is my sleepers. Whenever I think of sleepers, I always think Rams wide receivers because they're not guys that you actually draft.
I think of Rams, Tennessee Titans, and the Jaguars. Those are sleepers.
They
people.
all have sleepers. Our entire receiving core are sleepers.
Raiders haven't made the cut yet to sleepers.
Not yet. Not yet.
There.
No, not yet.
They're undraftable still, but getting there.
I'm picking Brian Quick, guys. I like Brian Quick a lot. He's impressive. Yeah. He's got that really speedy skill set that's going to work perfectly with Foles. He's the guy. I'm loving Brian Quick. And so, again, when we're talking sleeper, we're talking late picks. We're not talking this is your 4th wide receiver off the board, per se. But you got a pretty good shot with any of those wide receivers off the Rams. So that's it.
Yay! All right, that was good. NFC East and West. It's gonna be a good season 2015. Again, guys, make sure you hop over to herfantasyfootball.com. We should have rankings up there next week. It's going to be awesome, and we'll make hopefully this year we'll do a little draft kit thing for you, a little draft cheat sheet for your drafts. If you're having a draft soon, this coming weekend or anything, good luck, have fun. Look for buys, and kickers matter, okay? Hop over and chat with us on Twitter at HerFantasyFB and chat with us on Facebook /HerFantasyFootball. You can check us out on Blog Talk Radio and on iTunes if you'd like to hop on there. Give us a nice little love you, 5 stars. That would be fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for listening. Until next time, no more faking it.